That's actually what I think Aliens franchise misses. There should be like a Randy Newman theme song. Old face hugger coming to get ya. You're listening to The Diminishing Returns, the podcast about sequels, prequels, spin-offs and reboots. I'm Chris Scott, and across from me, he's the horrendous result of genetic mishaps. It's Mr. Alan Johnson.
How do pod people?
Ellen Ripley died trying to wipe the species out. I'm not anxious to see her taking up her old hobby.
Alien Resurrection from 1997, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet, is set 200 years after the seemingly definitive events of Alien 3. Military scientists aboard the USM Auriga have created a clone of Ellen Ripley. However, the blood sample they used also contained elements of xenomorph queen DNA, which results in a Ripley clone and alien embryo. As the scientists pursue further experiments with both Ripley and the xenomorph embryo, a mercenary crew of space pirates arrive on board, carrying a cargo of several kidnapped humans in stasis, which the military scientists hope to use as hosts to raise their xenomorphs. And, as previously seen in the franchise, hopes of taming and weaponizing the beasts are dashed, putting the entire ship and its crew and planet Earth in danger.
Yeah, Alien Resurrection. Is there a colon? I don't know. Alien Resurrection, of course, as you mentioned there, this takes place on the ship, the USM Auriga. For those of you who don't know military acronyms and things, the USM Auriga actually means the Unstoppable Sex Machine. Auriga. That's a lesser spotted Carter, the Unstoppable Sex Machine joke there. Nobody's made one of them in anger for about 20 years. Yep, you may remember them from Top of the Pops or from my C60 collection when I was barely a child. So yeah, Alien Resurrection, regular listeners will know my favourite film is Aliens. It's my favourite film of all time. I think Aliens and Alien are two of the greatest films ever made. Like, if you were saying me, that's 1 and 2, I'd be like, yep, that's it. They're the two greatest films ever made. We did Alien 3, and we admired a lot of it, perhaps more than loved it.
Yes.
Like, there was a lot of stuff where you're like, this is a good idea, this bit, I can see what they're going for, but you can see it's, it's the well-publicised struggles between the director and the studio. So, just generally, when this came out, what were your thoughts of it then, and what do you think now?
At the time, it was disappointing. Like, there's stuff in it, but ultimately just felt disappointing. And then on my rewatch here, about 20 minutes in, I was like, this is fucking amazing. How have I let this go? It's been so long since I've seen it. It's brilliant. And then it just turns on a dime, and I was like, this is awful.
I seem to remember enjoying it when it first came out, but I was very much, like, it's got aliens and guns in it. I'm kind of on board. And then when I was watching this, I was like, I'm really enjoying this. This film gets a lot of shit. Why does this film get a lot of shit? This is fucking great. This is fun. It's got cool stuff, and there's great actors, and it's well directed. And sure, some of the CGI is a bit, but actually, this is fucking great. That's right, they have the weird human-style alien baby. I was like, oh god, the last fucking 20 minutes of this film was just horrific. But I guess we'll get into it. Yeah, I was actually surprised at how well they kind of got you up to speed, got the plot in motion, and meet all these characters. And you were like, yeah, okay, this is the new bunch of people we're meeting here. They've hand-waved away Ripley dying in the third film, but done it in a way that gives you plot, them bringing her back. It's a clone. It could have been done really badly, and I think we can all argue and probably say it's unnecessary to bring her back. But if you're going to bring her back, somebody's gave Joss Whedon, the scriptwriter, lemons, and he's made lemonade that then goes off about an hour and 10 minutes into the film. But but that lemonade was tasty for a while.
Yeah, and initially when studio heads had started prepping this movie, they wanted Joss Whedon to write a script where it was actually a clone of Newt from Aliens, and sort of serve the whole thing then as a kind of soft reboot. So, you've got an isolated spaceship, you've got aliens on board, you've got a kind of motley crew of people that are trying to fight this total predatory killing machine.
To be honest, you say a motley crew there. I think the only thing that could defeat the aliens would be Tommy Lee's dick. It's the only thing more monstrous.
Vince Neil's driving.
That's fantastic. So let's just take a wee step here. We've got a Carter USM joke in, and now we've got 2 Motley Crue jokes. Well done. I mean, the only things that have killed more people than Motley Crue are, of course, the Xenomorphs. So, yeah, I think that brings up an interesting point, right? Sigourney Weaver's excellent in this film. Sigourney Weaver's just generally excellent. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything where I've went, Jesus, you're right. Like, everything she's great at, right?
Yes.
Obviously, a fucking awesome actress, iconic, can actually even talk to gorillas. Just amazing, right? But do you think that Aliens has been hampered by the fact that we've got this huge universe of like this evil corporation, this parasitic alien that survived out in the depths of space, but we still keep going back to Ripley? It's not a criticism of Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney Weaver plays her brilliantly in all 4 fucking films. She's fucking great, but should they have Sigourney leave her out of the franchise? Yeah, that didn't quite work, but that's fine. But you know, do we get this feeling of it's something we've seen before?
Yeah, it's a really weird thing because the franchise itself, the 3rd film, she really forced this issue that if she was coming back, she wanted to die. It was really important to her that she had an out, and she had enormous like kind of creative input on what happened with the script in the 3rd film. And then they reboot with the clone thing, and in real life, Weaver is coaxed back either because she was given the option of exploring this new sort of super genetically enhanced Ripley because she's got alien DNA fused with her own DNA, or it was because they gave her a co-producer credit and $11 million.
I think we all know which one it is. It's obviously the creative challenges. The creative challenges of how to spend $11 million.
$11 million.
Cha-ching.
Considering that the last film hadn't done particularly well, Fox clearly felt there's no show without Ripley. Yeah. But it's an interesting thing to think, like, could we just have had Winona Ryder as the default Ripley, and then this just be the start of a new strand of the franchise, just away from that Ripley thing? Yeah. Especially when you've taken like a 2-century time jump. I mean, I know it's a totally arbitrary timeline because it's like spacey futury.
Yeah, but I do like the kind of, as sci-fi, let's just make it 10 years, what does it matter? I like that about it, to be honest with you. I think what I like about science fiction is that it shows you things that are just totally nothing to do with your reality. You know, we're sitting here obviously doing this apart from each other because of the coronavirus pandemic, and it's just nice to watch something where there's like evil corporations and governments that, you know, don't really care about the workers dying, and it's just all about the work. That's something that, you know, we couldn't possibly relate to. So it's nice to have that pure fantasy.
No, my question to you about this is, obviously we've got this 200-year time leap, and humanity still has the folly of trying to harness the power of the xenomorph as a weapon. Has no one, particularly Brad Dourif, like, has no one like gotten word to them these things are just fucking killing machines?
Yeah, I mean, this is the problem with when you've got these like futuristic stuff. The Aliens universe starts in like 2089 or something like that. That means that these films take place in a universe where they've seen all the Jurassic Park films. They keep fucking opening this bar. And these fucking monsters. More characters in films should watch more films. Oh no, wait, I've just invented the 90s horror boom, so let's take that back.
It's funny how within this universe they don't seem to have an internet. There doesn't seem to be like an open communication system. Everything still seems to be coming through in like telex, like football results from 40 years ago.
Yeah, Xenomorph 5 Colonial Marines 0. Yeah, but I mean, again, I like all that. That's kind of groovy.
Yeah, I mean, it all fits within the look and feel of the universe, and I really admire it for that. Weirdly, across those 4 films, as different as the 4 directors are, it still has quite a unified look.
Yeah, it's a cool kind of visual world. I think that for me as well, the thing about the company, or in this case, the kind of space UN or something, aren't they?
Yes.
You know, they keep trying to kind of harness the aliens. I think this is another reason why sometimes it does feel like we've kind of seen this before. But at the same time, it is also probably the most realistic part, because there's no doubt in my mind business and bad people will exploit anything they can. Did you know you've got like conflict diamonds?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you can't have conflict diamonds. 60% of vanilla, I believe, is like conflict vanilla. When you have real vanilla in something, it's probably got from some fucking Civil War damaged country.
Apparently Mexican drug cartels are now taking over avocado farming. It's a legitimate business that they can funnel money into. So now apparently the trade in avocados has become monopolised by like Mexican drug cartels, which makes anyone who likes like a bit of avocado smash on toast complicit within the drug war, which is an amazing thing.
Exactly. Right. There's there's a great podcast called Power Corrupts, right? I'll give it a shout out.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like some expert in there going like, we will make sure that like we'll have cruelty-free tuna because it don't want to hurt a whale or whatever the fuck, right? So we can do this like cruelty-free tuna, but we can't promise you that your vanilla ice cream didn't result in children being murdered or child slavery. And let me be clear, when that finished, I went, I've not had vanilla ice cream for ages. And I went in and got some, right? And I think the dead children probably made it taste a little bit better. Just give it a little kick, right? We live in a world where, same with chocolate, and then you're saying like avocados. People aren't going to give that shit up. People won't stop doing that to stop people getting killed. So actually, despite the fact that cinematically, this evil corporation thing, you're like, yeah, we get it. Come on, guys, learn your lesson. Would they learn their lesson? So this is the kind of evil space government. It's no longer well and euthanized. This evil space government, space UN thing or something. So they've cloned Ripley. She's got a bit of alien blood. She's clone 8. So they've had fucking like 7 fucking clones fucked up.
Yeah.
Great little bit of business there, because at the time when I first saw this, I was totally like surprised when they showed you the other 7 clones and like, this is the coolest scene ever. And it's still cool. But as a grown man who's now watched a lot of sci-fi, as soon as you see something that's like, oh, this is the 8th clone, you're like, oh, we're gonna get to see the fucked up clones from beforehand. And it does not disappoint. This is a super groovy scene that I'm sure we'll get into. But the aliens have been cloned. They've cloned Ripley so they can kind of get an alien queen out of her.
Mm-hmm. From the end of the 3rd film, she'd been impregnated with the queen.
They've sort of rebooted her. They've got the alien queen out, which then, of course, creates more aliens. And classic kind of movie thing of, oh, let's just keep Ripley around. We'll see what happens. And then basically they get through the kind of black market. They get a spaceship full of cryogenically frozen bodies that they can then have the facehuggers attack. And the people that bring them in are these kind of, I would say they're like sort of space pirates with a kind of slight kind of western feel. Oh hey, Joss Whedon wrote this script, guys. It's quite obviously him having a wee kind of like
dry run at Firefly.
At Firefly and Serenity, yeah. And frankly, all the better for it. Cool mercenary space people. It's my jam. I'll eat that up all day.
It's an amazing kind of like gang of weirdo space pirates. It's kind of cadre of kind of oddballs that you get to know really quickly.
Yeah, it's great. I was a big fan. This was directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Did like Delicatessen
and City of Lost Children, which had Ron Pearlman in it.
Yeah.
Alongside Dominic Pignon.
The wee guy.
Yeah, the guy in the motorised wheelchair. At the point that Jeunet was actually offered this, he already had the script for Amelie completed. He was offered Alien Resurrection, and he was like, I don't know why they want me.
This one would have been better if they just melded the two, and like the aliens were just like wish fulfillment, manic pixie dream aliens, and just sort of brought joy and happiness to everyone. But then, obviously, facehuggers and they burst out your chest. I feel that we've missed out on a great film there. You fucked it, Jeunet.
Delicatessen and City of Lost Children are quite dark. Yeah, Jeunet brought on for his unique visual style, and I think that's kind of my problem within this film, is that there's some really impressive moments, there's some really great production design, set design, but then there's bits of it feel, it shows that the director didn't speak English when he's directing.
Yeah.
Like certain line deliveries, particularly from Ron Perlman, who I adore Ron Perlman, but in this film, there's a lot of kind of looking to the camera and winking when he delivers those like amazing lines.
Yeah, they sound like they're delivering dialogue in a dubbed film, except they're actually speaking it. You know what I mean?
They're just like, don't worry, we'll fix all this in post, and they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and they have not. Yeah, it is a bit of a mixed bag, but there's some really nice shots and stuff in it. So these space pirates come on board with the cargo because the space pirates kind of know the captain of this ship. And listen, this film has got some of the great character actors. It's got Brad Dourif, who's in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He's also the Doc in Deadwood, and one of the greatest performances I've ever seen. We've also got the great Ron Perlman. But greatest of all, we've got Carla's husband from Cheers, Dan Hedaya.
Who always comes to mind for me as Cher's dad in Clueless. But his performance in this movie is Let's just say it starts at 10.
It's great. I mean, it's absolutely great. But he seems less like a military man, more like a man who would sell me hot dogs outside of a fucking football stadium. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't get, like, this guy was a grunt at any point and worked his way up. But again, because this one is sort of played at a high level of, let's just say, scene-turery, it's pretty out there in places acting-wise.
Yeah, some people are going big. That's kind of a big problem I have with it. So much of it is really broad.
You think, what, too jokey?
I think sometimes people are just maybe suspecting that this is like kind of daft sci-fi, and so they're just like swinging for the fences when maybe things need a little bit more subtlety to it.
Yeah.
Obviously, in this episode, we've mentioned about how this is pretty much Sigourney's show, but I just wanted to talk about Winona Ryder and obviously like her part within this movie.
As men of our age, we're always down to talk about Winona Ryder.
And her role in this is she's the Ripley. She's the one that's saying, look, if we do these things, bad stuff's going to happen. She's a woman, so naturally within the Alien franchise, everyone ignores her and bad things happen. But her role in this is quite neat that they... You know, one of the things they pulled from previously is to have like a synthetic android character, and transpires it's Winona when the evil baddie scientist shoots her, you know, presuming she's just going to die, you know, not thinking she's a synthetic. And then obviously she pulls that little rope-a-dope move and reappears. What did you think of Robo Rider?
I think if you make a mid-90s robot Winona Ryder, you're going to make a lot of money. That's a top seller. Fair play. Maker of robots. If it's not Wayland Jutani anymore at this point, you know your audience there, boys. Well done. Yeah, Winona Ryder's. I kind of get the impression that I feel like at this point in her career and at that point, it was like she just needed that like huge fucking film, like blockbuster. Because she didn't do a lot of blockbusters, really, did she?
No.
You know, and this was, I think, was her kind of probably her just being like, we can get an Alien film. Yes, she's the sort of de facto Ripley. There's a kind of slightly mother-daughter thing, which again playing back to Aliens with her and Ripley. You know, this could be you in a big fucking cool blockbuster action film, and also in a way that kind of suited her as well. But then it wasn't a huge hit, so it's tough. I think when Winona Ryder played Spock's mum in Star Trek reboot from J.J. Abrams, not only was that her next big franchise, but that was the point when I went, holy shit, I'm old.
Yeah.
She's like, wait, she's Spock's mum? Like, she's not Spock's love interest, she's Spock's mum? Winona Ryder's only 28. What are you talking about? And I was like, oh, hold on a second. No.
Yeah.
No, she's not.
Wait, she's a parent now? What?
Yeah, because Winona Ryder is about probably 10 years older than I am, and I'm an old man, so that's how time works, guys.
I do think it's interesting that the third act of Alien Resurrection was meant to be a battle on Earth with the xenomorphs, but it only sort of hints at that at the end of the movie. It does feel weird that last part of the movie was sort of like kind of prepping for something bigger.
Basically, ever since Aliens, which is the greatest film of all time, this series has kind of been given as blue balls. You know what you want to see, like, you want to see what happens when the aliens go to Earth. It's going to happen eventually, right? And you're like, yeah. Like, we'll see the next film, Alien 3, yeah? Right? We're going to show you a teaser where there's the alien egg and the Earth. Holy shit. What does that mean? It's going to be on a prison planet, which is nowhere near Earth. Well, that's not the same thing. Okay. But in Alien 4, the ship's going to return to Earth. When? You don't actually get to see it return to Earth. You get to see it as it's about to land on Earth after all the action's happened. Great. Thanks a lot for that. But we're going to have a fifth film, right? A fifth film where the aliens get to Earth. No, what we're going to do is we're going to go back and tell you the story about flute-playing blue weirdos. Thanks, Aliens franchise. Thank you very much. So, we don't get to go to Earth, right? And this is where I think a lot of art needs restrictions. And sometimes, because of restrictions, you get greatness. And what they decided to do was when they said, no, we're not going to do it on Earth. What we're going to do... You know, these last 3.5 films have been very clear about how the alien ecosystem works and how aliens come about. Well, we're going to fucking blindside you. We're going to explain it away in like 2 sentences of dialogue as well. Even though there seems to have been no fucking build-up to this whatsoever. But now the Alien Queen, because there's some mix-up with DNA, evidently Alien Queen's had a bit of Ripley DNA. This now means that the Alien Queen actually births a baby human style.
Yeah.
Like it has it in its tum-tum. Now, it doesn't get fucked, I don't think. Right?
No.
It's like a virgin birth. So effectively, what they're saying here is that the Alien Queen is like Mary, Mother of God. and the creepy, weird, fucking half-human skeleton alien baby that comes out is our Lord and Saviour Jesus. Any questions? If you haven't seen this for a while, I've kind of forgotten about this, and it was only as it was kind of happening on screen again, I was like, oh yeah. Basically, we're talking about alien ovaries here, alien colon ovaries, and when it comes out, it's got a weird kind of fucking skeleton vibe about it.
The makeup made me think of Frank Langella's Skeletor from the Masters of the Universe movie.
It does look like that, yeah. It's maybe the worst design thing I've ever seen, because it's the worst design thing of all time. As soon as it comes out, it looks stupid. They kind of give it a like jawline and a mouth to make it a bit expressive. So I guess you're meant to feel a bit sorry for it because it doesn't know what it's doing.
Yeah.
But it's really just this giant, freaky, weird, uggo alien baby.
Yeah, it's like a horrible peeled banana.
Yeah.
The trade-off was that Sigourney Weaver 2.0 has got acid blood and is super good at basketball. And so then the flip-flop of that is, well, if she got like cool alien powers, then the alien should naturally just get her human womb, which allows her to birth that weird skeletal alien beast.
Yeah.
And of the 4 original Alien films, this is the first one when H.R. Giger doesn't get credit on it and he's not involved. And of course, they invent this horrible thing.
Yeah. What I do like, though, is that originally, and even on the film, but I think they then had to touch up digitally to remove this, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, weirdo director of Delicatessen and City of Lost Children, went, actually, I think I went too far here, boys. Was the original design, the weird skeleton baby had both a cock and a vagina.
Yes.
It had male and female genitalia, right, which, to be fair, very modern. You choose, you be you. I think that's great.
Although, I mean, it could be like Linehan making the trans character the Badgian.
Oh, right. Graham Linehan's crimes, of course, being an arsehole to trans people and writing the overrated IT crowd. He's 2 for 2 there. But as much as when I saw a picture of the fucking baby with the alien skeleton baby with the dick and vag, right? Which is a sentence that it's just what world we live in, do you know what I mean? Like, you get to just say that, and it's a thing that you and anyone else who's seen this film knows what I'm talking about. Part of me was like, at least that would have been hardcore balls to the wall, ironically, weird. Like, that would have just been like, yeah, fuck it. Like, we're just going weird. The alien queens had a tummy baby. It's went out its little alien front garden. And the stork's giving it a little baby. Wonderful, a miracle of childbirth, and it's now got an alien with a massive cock and vag. That would at least have been like, I did not expect that, I've never seen that before. But instead it was just like this sad-eyed skeleton abomination, because they keep looking at it and you're meant to feel sorry for it, and I'm just like, I don't care. I do not care about this.
Yeah, the quicker someone puts that thing out of its misery, the better.
Yeah, and like all little adorable children, you just want to throw it through a fucking airlock. Yeah, it's a horrendous misstep, and I love it because it does seem like this was obviously like, but yeah, we're going to have to rewrite this, because there's literally a scene where Ripley kind of is like, oh, there's the fucking evil scientist guy cocooned, and he's like, yeah, hey, guess what? The alien queen's got a womb now and it's having a tummy baby. You got that? Everyone got that? Be cool.
He's like Mr. Exposition, just big huge death scene so that he can just go, here's what the audience, I mean Ripley, needs to know.
Yeah, and he's also dead like, yes, look at it, it's amazing.
He seems kind of ecstatic about it, yeah.
Yeah, which is untrue because I've never been present at a birth, but from the films that I've asked my friends to make when their partners have done it and sell to me on the internet, it looks gross. I don't think anyone would be that happy about it.
Really gross.
Listen, the alien queen actually is very vain, and that's why it's went for a cesarean. Fucking out the sunroof. Do you think the alien queen worries about the tightness of its alien vagina? Is that what the moral of this film is, that the alien queen needs to do more kegels? But yeah, the weird alien human hybrid baby thing, it just doesn't work.
No.
Because also I love it, it comes up to Ripley and like, oh, the scientist goes, I think sure it's mother, but it came out of its mother. Mm-hmm. Hear me out.
Oh?
New sitcom idea. My two mums. Instead of my two dads, we got my two mums. And it's the alien queen and Ripley, and like, they are both very different. The alien queen's just like, you do you, I want you to just, be yourself, no rules, if you want to kill people. And Ripley's like, we can't raise our child like this. Oh my god, let's sell it to fucking Fox. My two mums. Yeah, so that bit definitely doesn't work.
And it comes in at such a crucial point as well. Like, we've been seeing our like amazing cast of space pirates just be killed off one by one. Now this big emotional punch is meant to be, where is this like movie going? And it produces this weird hybrid.
It's very much like real life in that everything's quite promising. Then you have a kid, and it all goes to shit. I am basing this purely on my parents' life, who seem to have quite a nice life until they stupidly had me and fucked it. So real subtext there. Don't have children, guys. Don't have children, because you'll have to shoot a hole in a spaceship and have it suck the insides out of them, which at least was a cool death, if poorly CGI'd.
Yeah, the acid blood aspect of the alien comes back and really comes into like play in interesting ways. And the best part in this, you know, one of the many great set pieces in this movie is when you've got xenomorphs in a cage and one realises how it can escape is by using the acid blood to get out.
And it was really clever, and again, is that they also had that thing of showing the alien learning, which is quite cool, like going,
yes, okay,
it's figuring stuff out. But the bit I didn't like about it is that they kind of turned aliens into chatty Cathys. It was like puppies, and they were going it should really have just been done with like one look or something, but I guess they were like, we can't trust people to get this, so it's like the alien kind of goes, look at this thing, look again, look at you, look at the scientist, look at the alien, and it's like, we get it, you're fucking making a plan, just get on with it. You know, it was like The Secret Life of Pets. It's just like, I'm just gonna have them fucking chatting for ages. But again, it was at least a cool problem solve. When it attacks the other alien, the acid blood then melts the floor, and that's what I like about it. Again, they were like, right, we need to build an alien fucking chamber. Okay, what we're gonna do? Well, here's the thing: the four walls, impregnable. Ceiling, impregnable. What about the floor? It'll be fine. What are they gonna do? You know, and like immediately then had access to the rest of the fucking ship. You know, it's just
the cell just drops out into the middle of the main foyer.
Yeah, there's like a guy there with the guy maps. He was like a map, Mr. Alien. You're like, okay.
But you're right. Like the actual development of the alien processing information, that's great. We actually see like a kind of full CGI alien walking, which we've never really seen, to actually see like the kind of bipedal nature. For me, I still think, you know, the actual suit creatures work much better than trying to CGI. But obviously the big set piece in the movie is the underwater gun battle.
Yeah.
The aliens are then swimming,
which I remember thinking was cool as fuck when I first watched it.
I still think as an actual set piece, it still holds up.
Yeah.
Like as an action movie set piece, I think it's still pretty amazing. It's pretty intense. I personally have got an issue with anything underwater. Like whenever like people are underwater in movies, I always try and hold my breath as long as they can, and then very quickly I'm just like, oh no, I would die in this situation.
I'm dead. My problem is always I cannot have water in my eyes.
Right.
So like, see if that happened, it was like, right, we need to get across there. I'm like, cool. Like, no, but we need to go under the water, and I'm like, right, did I bring my goggles? Oh, Jesus. This is going to be a real pickle. But yeah, I thought it was cool. I think, obviously, when you look at it, you know, I think you could obviously criticise the CGI, because this is, when was this, 97 or something?
96 it was filmed, 97 it was released.
Right. But I would point you to, 2 years ago's Alien Covenant, or whenever the fuck that came out, who also could not do a CGI fucking alien correctly. And in fact, I would argue it probably looked just as bad, if not worse, than the CGI aliens from fucking 1997. So I'm pretty sure they spent quite a lot of money on the one in Covenant, and they only had to do one as well, and they still made it look shit.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's something we talk about a lot in this show. If you can make it in camera with a real person, it's almost always going to look better. And is there any real kind of iconic movie monsters of the digital era that you feel look great?
Well, it's funny because recently I was bemoaning Quiet Place. I know that Quiet Place was a huge hit and people really liked it, but my big issue with that movie was that Monster looked shit.
It's the very example I was going to use, except I loved that film. I thought it was a great film, but it just looked shit, yeah. But and it made me think, you know, the reason that the alien looks so gross is because it comes out of the darkness. It's this physical thing with goo, I would say KY jelly, so it's also sexy, you know, dribbling off of it. You know, it's this real, tangible fucking thing. Now, of course, part of that is it comes out of darkness because they were like, yeah, it's a man in a suit, we have to hide it with shadows and angles. But the effect of it itself is that, you know, you go, fuck, that's like nothing I've ever seen before, even though you know it's a man in a suit. And the same with like John Carpenter's The Thing. Those practical effects, because it's a tangible thing, you go, fuck, that's super gross and weird. Whereas if you do it with CGI, you're usually just like, that graphic looks pretty good, and you've already got that distance. And also as well, it's like, great, we've got this weird monster with a weird kind of ear thing for its face. I'm sure that's exactly what the person imagined it would look like, because you can do anything with CGI, but that's not a good thing. Whereas if they had to make it with something, it might not have looked exactly as they imagined it, but would probably have seemed more real and visceral and creepy.
I also just think even just how light plays off these things. It's one thing to...
Oh, fucking Thomas Kincaid over here.
Oh, but...
Yeah, there's a reference.
You know, it's one thing to try and map those light textures over something, but it's a completely different thing when it's actually lit in the same way as the people on set.
Yeah, so the baby bit shit, the CGI bit shit, but the set pieces are good. We talked about it earlier, the scene where Ripley goes into the failed clone room. So she's clone 8, there's like 7 clones that are all like in various degrees of fucked upness, and like some of them are in like a big jar of like weird fucked up clone thing.
Formaldehyde?
Yeah, formaldehyde, yeah. And they all look really gross and groovy. And then you have like a classic scene like where there's a clone that's still alive. I'm not sure why they're keeping the fucked up clones still kicking about. You know what that makes me think? Brad Dourif is fucking them. You don't need these. These should be incinerated, right? But so Sigourney Weaver realises they've got all these discarded clones, and there's one of them like on the, like a gurney. But it's like the fucking clone's like, kill me, kill me. And I'm like, yeah, right? Big emotional scene. And obviously Sigourney Weaver's clone 8, the surviving clone, wants to put effectively this version of her out of her misery. So she gets a flamethrower and burns it alive. Just put a bullet through its brain, you fucking cow. Like, you've literally just made its last seconds on Earth the most painful one. It's like, kill me, put me out of my misery. And Sigourney Weaver's like, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put you in a little bit more misery, and then you're done. How would you like to die? Would you like me to strangle you, or put a bullet through your head, or, hear me out, flay the skin off of your body while your internal organs cook? Does the third one sound the best? Please don't. I can't hear you, I'm sorry. I'm too busy putting this flamethrower on. Please, why don't you just stick my throat? I couldn't believe it. I was just like, as much as it was a cool seeing her like burning the whole thing, you are a monster, Ripley. Maybe the real monster all along was the half human, half monster.
Obviously, I totally understand. Fox have this. It's a big franchise for them, and they managed to get their star back. All right, it's cost them $11 million to get her back, but they have the star they can hang the whole thing on. So it's a big deal. But after the third one, do you really think that they should have changed direction? You know, the Alien should have been enough to sell the whole franchise.
Yeah.
This sort of like rebooting it, so you're just putting like another crew in an isolated spaceship in jeopardy with the alien. It's
one of these things I do wonder, as much as I love it, and I love the Dark Horse comic books when they first came out, I fucking love Alien and Aliens. Maybe there isn't that many more stories to tell. Maybe, really, the one thing we have all kind of wanted to see was Aliens on Earth, but if you told me as a wee guy, like, by the way, there's going to be a fucking Terminator film set in the future, I'd be like, well, that's going to be guaranteed amazing. And we got that film. It was called Terminator Salvation, and it was Dullsville. I can barely remember anything about it. So I would like nothing more for there to be like another good Aliens film. But here's the world that we live in, Alan, right? Here's what I think. When we were children in the late 80s, early 90s, when we grew up, we loved Terminator and Predator and Aliens and all these fucking cool things. You were just like, man, why don't they make more of these? These are the coolest fucking films in the world. Why don't they make more of these fucking things? Why is George Lucas not making more Star Wars? Why is there fucking not more fucking Batman films? And in true Twilight Zone ironic wish fashion, we got what we wanted. And what we have ended up with is not good.
Yeah.
I wanted there to be more Aliens films. I got fucking loads of Aliens films. There's an Aliens v Predator film that I, Chris Scott, man who loves Aliens and Predator, has not seen. They made a big budget Aliens film with Ridley Scott. They made 2 of them and they were terrible. This is the world we wanted. And this is the lesson for the listener. Never want anything. Never try for anything. Never believe in anything. Never care about anything. All it's going to do is leave you fucking disappointed. That's what the Aliens franchise means to me. What about you, Al?
I just think if we'd had 3, I would have been happy.
For you, it's like Aliens films like Fingers Up the Butt. 3's enough. Like 4's too much.
3 will do you.
you think that they smeared KY jelly over it just because they found the alien head a bit tough to put up their arse? I'm just saying, those prop guys were sitting about, probably working long hours.